Call this meeting of the Brown County Commission to order. We'll start with the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Start, 8:45. We've got a public hearing on the petition to vacate a plat. That's the Kraus one. Did everybody get a chance to see that in the packet? If not, I'll pass it around.
Oh, that's in it, okay.
Is there anybody here to speak on behalf of this?
I'll move it.
Second.
We've got a motion by Sutton, seconded by Fishback. Is there any questions or comments on it? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Well, go to your list, if that's all right.
Okay. Minutes from November 29, Jim?
Move.
Moved by Feldheim,
Second.
seconded by Sutton. Any questions or comments or additions to those minutes? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Claims.
Move them.
Moved by Fishback,
Second.
seconded by Sutton. Questions on the claims? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
HR report.
Move.
Motion by Feldheim,
Second.
seconded by Fishback. Any questions on the HR report, Gary? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Okay, there was an ECOG 2017 agreement in the packet.
Move it.
Motion by Sutton,
Second.
seconded by Feldheim. Any questions on that agreement? That's the annual, right?
Yep.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And it'll be in effect, calendar year, so.
And then, there's also the state contract for the Brown County Community Health Center, and this covers the 18, I believe it's 540 for the part of one FTE, and that's the only cost we have.
Nothing's changed from the past, right?
No.
I'll move it.
Motion by Fishback,
Second.
seconded by Sutton. Any questions? You wanna?
There was the hours in there for the nurse, the state, under the state. How do they get that many hours for that?
Is it more than one?
Well, they've never, minimum, shall provide a minimum of,
You got more than one nurse.
that's a lot of hours.
That's what I looked at. I looked at that, I thought, well, 2008 is a 40-hour work week, and I thought, well, if this
Right.
is one nurse, I don't know.
Well, I think they have more than one nurse.
They've got more than one nurse.
That's probably
Yeah,
what
but-
it is.
They're giving the county 3,744 hours of nursing for the 18,000. I think that's,
Okay, how they work.
it's worded kind of goofy there. Yeah,
Based on hours, not on people.
yeah, just the, cost share of the FTEs.
And then we send them quarterly payments
Yep.
on the 18th. Any other questions? Anybody want to see that? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
There was the amended drawdown number 5 for safe harbor. That hasn't come in yet. I don't know if Ted will bring it before the meeting ends or not. So I don't have the documentation on that yet.
Do you want us to go ahead and wait?
We'll
or do you
just
wanna-
wait on that.
Okay.
There was amendment number 2 for the SLA, that's the state and local agreement, for the 2016 Emergency Management Program Grant Agreement.
I'll move it.
Motion by
Second.
Sutton, seconded by Fishback. Any questions on that? So we are getting an additional award amount, it looks
From
like.
Chris?
The 5,010 on top of what we normally get.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. That brings us up to 8:50. We will go to, we need to set a hearing date for the joint city council meeting on ordinance 16-12-1 or county ordinance 461, Donaldson, Bachmeyer, and, is it Weiler?
I'll
Yeah.
move them for 8:50, December 6th.
Okay, motion by Fishback.
Second.
Seconded by Sutton. Any questions on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Now, you'll meet jointly here the 27th of December, and then the second reading possible adoption will be at the City Hall on January 3rd at 5:30.
No?
Gotcha. All right.
Okay, the auditor's report of account was not on the agenda, but it was in the packet.
All right, there's motion by Sutton,
Second.
seconded by Feldheim. Any questions on that report? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
The operating transfers, the first one is the $1.4 million from landfill to general for the Phase 3 jail project.
Okay. Everybody,
I'll move that, if you want it separate, is that how you?
I'd like them
Okay.
separate.
I'll move it.
Okay.
okay, we've got a motion from Sutton on the 1.4 operating transfer for landfill. Is there a second on that?
Second.
Seconded by Feldheim. Any questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
The second transfer is the last $1 million of the 418 from general to highway.
Move it.
Motion by Sutton,
Second.
seconded by Fishbeck. Any questions on that one? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
The last thing I have are the budget supplements to authorize advertising the hearing. The hearing will be December 27th at 8:50 a.m.
Move that.
Second.
Motion by Fishbeck, seconded by Sutton. Any questions on those? That's still some, do you have it set, or you said those are?
Can those numbers change
They will
from today or
change.
not?
Probably not once that's why I left the cushion in contingency, because the way I did it, I took their October expenditures and November expenditures and assumed they would spend almost as much in December or more, and gave them enough money for that amount. So if there's unanticipated expenditures for general, it could throw them over. But there's cushion, 23,000 in contingency.
And you had to have this done today so we can advertise in time to get it.
Yep.
Does everybody have a copy of that? Any questions on those?
And with the STIP, the money's there, it's just you haven't budgeted for it, and that's why there's a budget supplement for the STIP funds. And I gave you a printout of the expenditures. There's still, the balance of the County Road 16 project is $1,896,729.25, and Dirk feels that will be paid before the end of the year. So the only thing left in the current STIP money will be the retainage for County Road 5/Bridge 18 of $166,000. And then next year, the county will receive another approximately $400,000. And then Dirk can either designate another project or stockpile that for a bigger one.
It's actually come in May, I think, see, that's when it came this year.
Yeah,
Typically about May, okay,
yeah.
prior to the construction season.
Okay, any questions on that? And then you had general fund maintenance, 120.
That's, okay, we've already done the operating transfer for the 114,750 grant money for the ramp, but Judy's had some other expenditures that put her over her regular budget. When I calculated that, I did not use the Phase 3 project at all. I took her October expenditures or November expenditures and what she's short already, and I didn't know if there is money left from the Phase 3 jail project, that $2,400,000, if you wanted that to supplement her regular budget, or if you wanted to keep them separate.
What did we find out Thursday? Did you go to the last jail meeting? How are things looking on that? Are they more?
There's a couple more that might be coming up, but they figured they were both gonna be probably after the first of the year, so I don't think there's gonna be a whole lot of change.
The elevator guys show up?
No, they did not.
Oh, wow.
That's what's postponing it.
Yeah, that's one of the issues.
And see,
They
yeah.
didn't come again yesterday.
If we kind of leave that line item intact, we can't carry the budget over, but the cash would still be there to finance a supplement budget to pay those expenses in 17.
Sure. All right. So maintenance. Any questions on that? You had jail, you had maintenance.
The jail, they'll, when I did the October, November for jail, they were going to be over more than 130, so I've got some taken out of contingency. I think I said 130 there.
104.
Oh, 135, okay, and there's another 30 coming out of contingency, and that's basically for the salaries for the new people.
Because we didn't anticipate them starting till New Year, and now.
Right, yeah. And then what's the last one? Pod?
About a 70...
Yeah, that's the
79,
point of
78.
distribution, that's that grant we received quite a few years ago. And now they've hired that Joanne Paulson to be the coordinator for the pod activities for several counties. And there'll be a balance of about $4,000 of that money for 17 for any more pod exercises or her salary. It's not a salary, it's just a contract per hour that she spends, and then she splits it between the counties. But on that one, since that money's been sitting here since 2002, we don't budget for it every year, so that's why that is a budget supplement. But the cash is there as a donation to fund it.
Okay, is there any other questions on the budget supplement there?
Did IT get anything in? They said there may be some concern with their department also.
They thought they'd be over?
Possibly.
Oh, really? Where's that?
And you can check with Paul when he comes in later.
Yeah, why don't we do that? We'll set this aside just for a bit. We'll go to our 8:55. We've got Sue Gates with the Dakota Prairie Museum to discuss Richmond Lake Youth Camp Cabin. Sue, are you with us?
I am.
Good morning.
Good
How are
morning.
you?
I'm good.
Good. What do we got going on?
Well, I was offered one of the cabins from Richmond Youth Camp. Mostly because it's a historic structure. They moved them from down by Stratford area to the camp years ago, and now they have become obsolete out there, but
No, you can't put it in this parking lot.
no, I haven't even, well, we were wondering about moving it to the granary. However, I didn't want to make any decision before I talked to you because, anything free that is offered to you is never free.
Exactly.
Good things to go.
So there would be some moving costs, some land prep costs. There is, the way I understand it, they're not on a foundation, they're just on some blocks, but at the granary, I don't have a lot of level ground. Somebody'd have to make a little pad there. And then there's some very minor, I need new screen door, new screens, that kind of stuff. But I didn't know if you were interested in doing that, or... just moving on with
Last
these.
time I was out there, those are in pretty rough shape. Is there one that's salvageable?
Well, Kurt showed us the best of the worst. And, you know, we would use it for just a protective structure for when we have things going on out there. I mean, it would never have heat, lights, any of that stuff in it. It would just be like a screen house type of thing. I have no idea how much it would cost to move it out there or prep anything. I was kind of hoping, are they here? They're not here. To talk to my buddies in the highway department to see if, you know, maybe they would help me out on that project, but, you know, I just don't know. But I didn't want to say yes or no until I brought that to you to see if you had any interest in basically putting the bill on that.
How big is the structure?
It's 16 by 16. Wood structure, wood floor.
Well, I know they need to get cleaned out of there anyway.
Guess I'd kinda like to see the cost.
The highway center
Get
would
to it.
depend on, they'd take a look at it and make sure that they felt comfortable, that they'd get it there in one piece. If not, they'd probably suggest it being done by somebody outside that does that on a regular basis.
Okay.
But otherwise, they didn't have any issue helping out if they felt comfortable doing it.
Okay.
And tell me the history a little bit, when they were down at Stratford, they were used for...
They were at the Girl Scout camp down there by the river, and then that area flooded, and they moved them out here to, well, they moved the whole Girl Scout camp out to Richmond. And they've been there
the name of the
since.
camp, what was it? It was...
Oh, I don't remember what it was. Something very exotic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't just the Girl Scout camp.
No.
But it was, you know, it was an idea that was floated by us, and I said, geez, we've never given it any thought. We can. Laura went out to take a look at them, did choose one that was kind of the best of the three that are left.
Then it needs painting and shingling and...
Oh yeah, I said, you know, a free gift. It's
Couple
like a
doors.
mother kitten. They just
Windows.
keep giving.
siding.
You know, one of the residents down by Stratford asked if he could have one. I don't know if he...
They can have the worst one.
That was, Jark, I think.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, we're not tied to this in any means. It came to us, and I thought, well, I better come to you before we get too excited about anything.
By the time you take a 16 by 16 structure, you move it, if you gotta repair the roof, windows and door, probably the cost of building new would be just about equal to what it's gonna take for this old one, quite honestly.
Right. Its only redeeming factor is its historic
Historical.
value, but, you know, that compared to its reconstruction value, it has to be weighed carefully.
Do you know when those were built, roughly?
You know, I should have looked. I don't.
Turn of the century, or not that old?
No, no.
Any other thoughts? You want to...
Or if you want to talk to Kurt about it, and, you know, he's just
Just
got
I'd
him
like
out
to see
there.
some more cost to get it moved first.
You always move it down by the lake and turn it into a rental.
Kurt to fix it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't we put it on hold if that's fine with everybody, and we'll just see what the cost would be.
Was there a timeline on this?
Well, he wanted to, you know, he obviously wants to get them out of there, and
Yet this fall, you mean, or this winter?
I think so. So I'll talk to
Did
her.
today change his mind?
And, you know, then it's dependent too on, you know, if we wait till summer, then the highway guys are out of the
Busy.
picture and that kind of thing. So I'll talk to them both and see if they can give me any kind of a, you know, an estimate of what their time and effort would cost, and then it's just, like I said, a new screen door. And
Is there room to set it out there somewhere?
we have 3 spots that could host it. It's just a matter of which one is easiest access.
Less mowing.
Yeah. Yeah. So it would be the easiest access from the road.
Sure.
And how many trees might have to be sacrificed to get it in there if any. Of course, there's some trees that need to come out anyways. Yeah.
Well, that was one of the issues with getting them out of the youth camp,
Uh-huh.
all the trees in the way.
Mhm.
All
We'll
right.
do a little more digging.
sounds good. Well, thanks for the heads up on it.
All right, I'll keep you posted then.
Okay,
We'll
thank
have
you
a
much.
party.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
Thanks.
Thank you. That brings us to Chris White, State's Attorney-elect, to discuss personnel.
Morning.
Do you assume personnel is exec, or is that something?
No, I think we can keep it
Okay,
open.
great.
I'll let you know if I think otherwise. I'll start off by thanking everyone for allocating the resources and the tight budget that you have for Larry and for myself when I came and asked for the victim's assistant. You guys obviously help keep our community safe, so I appreciate that. Good news is I'm not asking to amend a budget or add to our budget. Did everybody get that email I sent out with the figures? So I'll start off with, I've been telling you I was going to come in and address how I was going to structure the office, and I was hoping to do it in October or November, and then Marcy's Law came up and took a lot of our time. So here I am now with the figures. As you can see on the left there, that's the salaries that have been approved in our budget for 2017, and on the right is my proposal. The biggest thing you're going to see is the total is exactly the same. We just shift some of the salaries around, and I'll get to that in a second. But you notice the chief deputy I have listed as Ryan Vogel, and for the most part the other positions are pretty much the same as they are now, with the exception of Ryan moving into my chief deputy spot. Ryan's, if you guys aren't completely familiar with his role, he's handled hundreds of felonies in the last couple of years, so he's very qualified to do what I've done. And
Is Ryan currently a deputy?
He is, yep.
So he would be still getting a bump? He's
He would get a bump because he'd be moving from deputy
Gotcha.
to chief deputy,
Yep.
yep. So if you look in the approved salaries, Ryan's kind of right where that third deputy is, where Carly's name is at 58 currently, roughly without the 50% from 16 to 17. And that's partly why, if you look on the right-hand column, why I can adjust Ryan's, because if you look at the $69,000 that I would have been making as chief deputy, that was in my 4th year. So Ryan in his first year, we can make it be at that 66, and then I can allocate that to Ernest and Carly to reward them for their hard work. So those are my proposed salaries, and Ryan would be my proposed chief deputy. Biggest thing is bottom line remains the same. The total is exactly the same. Any questions on those two things?
Any questions for Chris?
The third thing I wanted to address, and it all kind of goes into the structure of the office, is you can see Larry's name's not on any of the approved or proposed salaries, and that's because I want to put him as the part-time deputy. I didn't put that behind his name because that's what I wanted to address with you guys today. At this point, we were pretty conservative on our budget that we got approved by you folks, because we took out a full-time person for 3/4 of the year, and that's why that new deputy says effective September 1st, and that's kind of the rough estimate. I don't see it ever happening before that. It could certainly happen after September 1st, but so we're really saving all of the taxpayers a full-time person, moving it to a part-time. So I would like to have Larry be a part-time deputy at that $26,000 that's already approved in the budget, starting, I think it would be the first Tuesday in January, or roughly January 1st when I become state's attorney. The biggest thing you guys got to remember is we have the same footprint in the office we do now as far as personnel, except we'll actually be down a part-time person, half a person. So, to be honest, I think the only person that's probably going to stress out is me, because I'm going to take on a little more work, but I still have a little hair left, so I can lose that in the next half a year, I suppose. So I would ask for all of those things to be approved, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions for Chris?
Now, the total budget of $321,825, when we okayed the victim's assistance, doesn't that have to go on top of that then? Or
It would. This is just the attorneys. I mean, you can
Okay.
see that the legal assistants aren't on there either. I mean, the total, that 321 totals just for attorneys.
Okay.
Larry, do you have certain times you're gonna be coming in, or is it as needed, or
Well,
trials, or?
As I understand it, I'll be sitting with you every Tuesday. I'll be doing stuff with the department heads. I'll be in the office probably an hour right away in the morning just to kind of do emails and stuff, and then I'll be in for a couple hours in the afternoon, and I'll be here every Tuesday morning. That's kind of the deal. It's not exactly half-time, but it's part-time.
It's essentially, I mean, the best way to describe it is what Larry's doing now, minus the office management stuff. I'm gonna do that, plus what I'm doing now as far as prosecuting. And I think it'll be a good thing to do that until September, October, and then we'll figure out where things go from there. Maybe Larry will be ready to retire in next winter.
I've had a lot of practice at retiring, so probably be ready for that.
Getting pretty good at it, yeah. Looks good to me, Chris.
Any other questions? And then your, the new deputy, the 17.5 effective September 1st, will become, I mean, that's 1/3 of the year, so then that'll be at 52.5?
Yep, that's how we
For the year?
budgeted for it,
Yeah.
yep. And you know what, I think next, and I'll be honest, in the probably late spring is when I'll come back to you and we'll talk about if we're gonna open up that new deputy position. It obviously wouldn't start until September, but it would be important because typically with a new person, a new deputy like that is probably gonna be somebody with less experience, maybe coming out of law school. They'll be graduating in May, and most of them are probably freaking out right about now because they don't have jobs. So they're looking right now between now and May. They don't get licensed until September, so they don't take the bar exam until July. So I think we could advertise it maybe in June, not hire somebody, but not have them start till September when they pass the bar exam. So we wouldn't actually be spending the money until September like we budgeted for. But I think that'll happen. Now, when that time comes in June or so, when we advertise that position, then we'll look to, do we still need our part-time position to go through past that September 1st time, or maybe it goes till the first of the year, and then we can knock that off completely. We'll know more at that time. I mean, right now, we're getting caught up on stuff since our murder case got finished up, but the fact of the matter is I got a murder trial next week, and we got another one in April, so things aren't changing as much as we had hoped, but I think they're getting a little bit better.
Originally, when we asked to add a full-time deputy, Ernest, I kind of said, you know, how long that, you know, when I stepped down, there'd be an opening, and at some point, there'd have to be discussion as was whether or not to authorize another full-time person to come in. And then at budget time, we said, why don't we defer that discussion from, you know, now till next spring or fall, whenever, and push it down the road a little bit. So that was how the budget was structured. So that discussion, that decision is for next year after we see how things shake out a little bit. So.
Okay, any other questions on the proposal? Did you want a formal motion today? Do we need a...
Well, why don't you do all the salaries at one shot?
Okay. Sounds good. So, we were doing that on the, not today, so all the salaries?
Next week, we should probably do next Tuesday, we'll do that for the 18th.
Okay, so we'll put this on hold, but thank you for the information.
Yep.
Any other questions while Chris is here? All right, appreciate it.
And a quick update while I'm here, I
Yeah.
think I got a little time.
Yes?
And maybe Gary's updated you on the victim specialist position. We had some really good applicants. I think we had a little over 30 applicants, Gary,
Yeah.
between 30 and 35. All really good people. So, and I think it got passed in the HR report today. Brittany O'Day, she was the one with the most experience by far. She'll do a really good job, and we're happy to have her. But overall, I was really happy. I think Gary was really happy with the applicants. It was. Especially for, I think the salary was very competitive, but we have other places paying more, Sioux Falls, Rapid City, so most of our folks were local for the most part, but really good candidates, so that's good to hear.
Sounds good, well, thanks.
All right,
Very
thanks,
good.
guys.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, we've got a little time then. Sure you don't have 10 more minutes of stuff, Chris?
I can talk about Marcy's Law for half hour.
All right, did you have anything else, Matt?
No.
We'll come back to the, did you have anything, Gary?
We have time then for an exec for personnel, that'd be great.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion.
Move. Second.
Was that you? I'm sorry. Did you say, Feldheim and Sutton, any other, discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Sometimes it comes from the side and I'm not sure which you it is.
Good, how are you?
Good.
You've been hiding, I've seen you in a while.
Go ahead, you can just...
Okay, we are out of exec, no action, I don't think we had as a result of exec. That brings us to our final, regular agenda item. We got Paul Stevenson, CIO, to discuss copiers and phones. How are you, Paul?
Good. I know I emailed this to you, but I've done some copies. It's been a while ago, been busy, so. Trying to keep up. I got the next one for Max there.
Thank you.
You bet.
I know a while back we looked at or the auditor brought forward a bid for a copier to replace the Canon in the mailroom. And through our discussions, you know, we've looked at, with all the scanning we're doing with Score 9 and the way we're moving forward with that, it's probably going to be better to put one in the treasurer and one in the auditor, or one in the treasurer and one in that copier room, however they decide they want to do it. So going with two, so we sent out an RFP, got some quotes from Century Business Products, Marco, A&B for a pair of copiers. And we've sent out new, used, off lease, so we can kind of get the rounded area here. If you look at the breakdown, the quotes are pretty competitive by the time you figure the cost of ownership, you know, which is our monthly fees as far as, you know, cost per page and that type of stuff. I did ask for no minimum, and A&B came with a minimum on both of them, which, the issue I have with minimums is if you don't print that month, you're paying it regardless. Or if you go under, it's pretty expensive per page. So I guess I don't know if that disqualifies them or not, but I put them in here. Looking at it all, looking at the numbers and the total cost of ownership over 5 years, I really would suggest we stay with the Kyocera's and with the Square 9. The Square 9 software, which goes directly into the DM Connect, which goes directly into our Square 9. I've looked at the other options as far as scanning softwares with these other copiers, and the DM Connect is so much more of what we want and what we're using, and it keeps us pretty standard across the board. So, I mean, that would be my recommendation.
Okay, any questions for Paul? My biggest thing, and I've told you this before, is we've had Square 9 now since last January, and I know you guys have a million other projects you're working on, but we're catering our copiers to the Square 9 that isn't even up and going yet. And so I just want to make sure that we're all on board with the Square 9, and that, you know,
Exactly.
and I know that's not all your guys' fault. You're limited on your people, and we've got the departments to train, and
the state's attorney has been the one, they had the intern, they put a lot of data into the Square 9
no
already.
looking back, everything's going good
No,
with you
it's
guys?
going good. We have a whole basement full of stuff. We're hoping to have Chris start scanning here once we get into the new year, so.
We've got one little issue that we need to talk to legislative audit on, the vouchers, to make sure we're okay on that, and then that'll be out this week, so.
Pushing everybody through it?
Then we're gonna push it on.
When will I be shown Square 9?
Whenever you want.
Vouchers.
Whenever you want. I thought they already put it on yours.
No.
Okay. I'll get them up here today for that.
Okay.
So, I know Lynn and I think Dave have it, and Doreen.
I don't think Dave has it.
Okay. Because we are gonna push it out this week. We had a little, thing with the signature, so you don't have to do every page separately. I think we've got that corrected, so. But yeah, I mean, down the road, that's gonna be, you know, the money we've invested in Square 9 is going to be solely to get rid of paper, to the point of, and online access for our files. So,
the biggest perk is that the CVP one has Square 9?
well, the DM Connect is very customizable. Right now, it is probably the top for going straight in, indexing straight into Square 9. From everything I've looked at on the other ones, for the cost, it's a great option. Matter of fact, if we decide to make that, if we keep going this route, I'll probably ask for a copier and IT that other people can use in the basement with it on there so we can do development, because it is developable to our needs.
Okay, any other questions for Paul?
You know, and I guess I don't know what budget this is coming out of, or, you know, I guess.
You're recommending the last one on the right?
The Kyocera, correct. Which is, that's what we've put in. We've got 3 at the sheriff's office, 1 at the state's attorney, got 1 in deeds, and 1 in assessor's office, and they have been really good machines. Had no complaints on them at all. I know we did kind of put it to the test with the state's
You
attorney.
say we're getting 2 of these in? Is that what
The
you're saying?
price of that is for 2.
The price is for 2?
Yes. I know when we talked to the auditor and treasurer thought with their stuff, it would be great to have 1 in their office. So that is the price for 2 on all of them.
Well, you're gonna be one of them using it, Max. Did you have any questions, or Sheila?
First, I've heard about it.
Oh, okay.
But I don't want it in the office proper. I think I stated that
Yep.
before.
And that's fine, we'll put it wherever we want it.
Yeah, over in the central machine
I
room.
know Sheila wants hers kind of right at the end of the counter there, so.
Where do you want yours, Max?
Over in the central machine room.
And they already have the ability for the programming of each office, so you can track
Yep.
sheets?
All
We'll
of
be
them-
tracking them.
All of them have that feature.
The auditor's office will track the one in the central machine by department.
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely.
And it's not on in managed print?
It is on its own. All the copiers are on a per-page copy for supplies, just like they are now. It's like the Canon over there now is the same way.
No, we have control of it though.
But you pay per copy.
We pay per copy, and last day of the month, we take all the totals, we track them, we tell them when we need toner.
Okay.
That one's not automatic?
Nope.
This one will be.
What we do with Kyocera is, all the newer copiers is there's an extra set of toner here for them. When you put it in, they call them and get another replacement.
But it's not on Gov.
No, it's on from the copier companies.
Okay,
All of them, all the copiers are,
okay,
and it's all based per page.
right.
And like I said, Marco did bid an optional minimum, but A&B bid it with a minimum.
And there's no color on this.
These are both strictly black, with the finisher, staple, hole punch,
Okay,
the extra trays, the bigger, for the legal and the 11 by 17s.
okay. And an off-lease machine, how many copies are on these?
I guess it would, check and see, depends on what machine.
I have 2 that are available if you want them delivered by the end of the year to get them under budget. Each one of them is less than 150,000 on it.
Of copies on each?
Yep. They're not even halfway to their first payments.
Okay. Because usually leases are 5 years.
3, 4, 5, they vary.
The other thing that, I guess I asked for on all of them, and I got it on all of them. Well, I asked for a 3-year replacement, no questions asked if we had an issue, especially on the off-lease used machines. They all complied with that. Century gives us 5 years on them. So if we have a problem, in 5 years they're gonna replace it. Just hedge our bet a little bit more.
So are these ones you want, are they new ones? or-
They're off-lease.
What's the $90.75? What's that line item?
That's at 1,100, or 11,000 copies a month, that'd be per page.
Oh, that's just your guesstimate,
Yeah,
okay.
I took roughly what was on Canon now, I got a couple reports from Lynn, and took the average monthly
Linda,
page count.
Sarah.
Or, well, Lynn's the one that sent it to me. But anyway, the average monthly page count, and then average it out to the 11,000.
How does the cost per copy vary from what we have now to this new one? Is it higher, lower?
It's a lot lower.
It's lower, but this'll count the duplexes. Currently, when we set that Canon up, that model, when we set it up for departments, could not track the duplexes. So if we're running front and back, we're only getting charged one copy, where this will charge front and back.
On printing, yes.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions for Paul? So the CVP, if we have any issues, 5 years replacement,
We have that on all the Kia Ceras.
all Kia Ceras. What about the other B&B and Marco? Did they offer the 5 years?
They both wanted a 3-year,
3
that's what
years?
I'd asked, minimum 3 years.
Okay.
So,
Anybody else have questions as you're looking through the information?
I just put the dollar pages of the quotes in there. I think I emailed you the full quotes.
All right, are we ready to act on this today?
Whose budget?
Who wants to volunteer to give their budget for this? Well, I think we had, what's that? I think we were. We had talked about looking at commission and seeing what was left. Do you have that?
What is the cost per copy? I mean, per each copier.
.00825 per page, and then the 5-year cost was $5,445. For 11,000 copies, the price was $90.75.
But, like I say, I haven't looked at my December sheet, but...
Paul, what's the way bottom
numbers? I can try
numbers?
to help too.
That's the 5-year cost of ownership. That's the price of copier, and then taking the 11,000 copies per month at the price per copy.
So the $5,445 is just copies, and then adding it to the $8,000?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Because I know, if you look at the used one was way cheaper, but then you put the cost per page in, which is a lot higher, all of a sudden it's right there at the same money as almost a new one, just on cost of ownership, because the cost per page is way high on that one.
Well, if Sheila has some money left in her budget, maybe if you have any left in your budget, we could split it between the auditor, treasurer, and commission. Does that make sense?
And us too, if needed. We use it too.
Sounds good. Is that a motion, Commissioner Sutton?
I can put that in the form of a motion, that we split the cost, we go with the CBP recommendation, and split the cost between the auditor, treasurer, commission, and HR office.
Sounds good. Is there a second to that? I'll second it. Any other questions or discussion on this? And maybe if there's other folks that use it and we don't, I'm assuming we'll have enough there, but if we don't, we can always, planning and some of the other departments that use it as well. Anything else?
Just for the one that he recommends, you mean?
Right, yeah.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Appreciate you guys coming in. I know it's a lot of footwork, but I want to make sure we get the best product. And
the other item I had was, beginning of the year, I budgeted for updating the phones in the 4 offices down here to IP phones, and adding the museum, the highways, landfill, and landfill onto our Mitel system. And I'd like to get the equipment purchased this year yet. We probably won't start install till January, but we'll have all the equipment here. and the licensing.
Is it delivered?
What's that? It'll be delivered, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to get up here. Earthbend bought, we've always dealt with SGN. Earthbend bought that side of SGN out, so they're the vendor that currently holds our license. Then I got a quote from Marco, who are the other closest rep to handle Mitel.
Is this for all new phones? What this is?
For these phones and then the licensing and the voicemail. So I know I had budgeted 28,000, we came in well under that, which is good. They're close. There's not a lot of difference between them, but it's mainly licensing things. You know, with Marco, I don't think they're charging us, but if we went with the Marco, we have to switch over to their holding our license. That's a kind of a Mitel thing. So, I've been happy with Earthbend. They've done a good job for us, so that's who I would recommend. Save the extra $1,000 or $500, whatever it is.
$609.
$609. But it's a horse piece. You know, Mark, we have a little closer support, because they'll have somebody in town, right?
Yes, we have a Mitel engineer in town.
So that would be the difference is, if we moved to Marco, we'd have somebody not coming from Sioux Falls. So on a service call, we'd be saving that mileage, correct?
What is that, in the front page, that number 4, what is that?
Those are the voicemail licenses, the additional, see, all the auditor, treasurer, assessor, and deeds already have voicemails. But like highway and the rest of them that we needed to add voicemail licenses for.
So how often do we need to call down to Sioux Falls? Have we ever had to have them come up and mess with the phone?
You know, when we do upgrades and stuff, we have them come up because it's kind of if something goes wrong. Mitel's a very picky system. You know, there's places that we can do a lot of the programming, but there's just places that you gotta be a Mitel certified rep.
And as soon as you call them, they're on the clock and we pay mileage?
Yep, correct. So long term, I would say, you know, the $600 and some, we'd save that in mileage in a year of updates with Marco. So
how come under customer they got that name?
That's how long we've been doing business, I guess. I saw that, didn't have time to have them change that, but are you having flashbacks? So
your recommendation was Marco?
You know, they're so close, but I think long-term we'd save money on, you know, moving to Marco, moving our license over. That's not a big deal, is it? I know we moved it once.
So, if you look at the last line item on there, I'm actually eating the cost of the transfer.
Yep.
The actual transfer sheet is a single page, literally pretty much just your initials and signature to get it to move over. So, there would be no cost to the county to move your licenses to Marco.
Do you have one tech or two techs in the phone?
One voice engineer,
Okay.
3 techs in the office.
So when they call, did they get you or one of those 3? Is that
You would, if you did service, you would go to Chris, correct? He would be your tech.
What was the cost of Earthbend last year for service calls?
You know, I don't know if we had them up here much, but I know it's just the mileage fee is over $300. Seems like every time Earthbend comes up, it's $1,000. You know.
And then, are these, like the phones is a one-time cost, the license and the voicemail?
License are one-time cost.
All this is one time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless we add or, you know,
Sure.
so.
Well, I guess my feeling is for basic price, I'd rather keep the business local than.
And I mean, the cost is so close, the biggest difference in cost is a couple cents per phone, you know, a couple dollars per phone. So, I mean, it's not.
Now, does this include like hands-free phones for
No,
us?
this would just be the desk, the IP phone is what we quoted. Okay.
Because there's been a number of departments that have said we need hands, you know.
And Mitel's kind of high on wireless phones, but if you have a genuine need, we'll sure look at that.
Yep, the request for proposal for these didn't include that, but it is something that...
Because we talked about that, I heard planning and zoning say you know, we would really benefit. It's just constant, you know, running back and forth and up to the terminals and...
So,
We have 4 out here in hands-free.
you got headsets. but not-
Headsets.
Yeah, those work on these phones.
Oh, okay,
The
okay.
state's
Headsets
attorney
work.
has, we moved
Okay.
all those over on the state's attorney. She was talking on a cordless phone,
Oh, okay,
you know,
okay.
which in the MITRE IT world, IP phone world, they're a little pricey, but they work well.
Like when you say a cordless one, like how much money are you talking about? Is that something I could
Well,
put in my own
there's
budget?
different options that you could go with, and I could deliver that to you so you could see. The actual handset, just like what is sitting on the desk there, comes with wireless, so the physical cord disappears and then you can pick up.
And that's what I have in my office.
No. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I can.
Okay, well, something else that we can talk about when we...
Yeah, I mean, we're well under budget, so if we have to slide in a couple cordless phones for a couple offices, you know, from what I budgeted 28,000, we're looking at, I know we're at 13.5. So,
The right way.
yeah.
Any
So
other
it's good when
questions
it works
for Paul?
that way.
I'll make a motion to go with the Marco bid.
Okay, we've got a motion on the floor from Commissioner Sutton. Is there a second? Seconded by Feldheim. Any other questions or discussions with folks here? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Need them getting delivered before the end of the year, so we can pay for them out of this year.
That won't be a problem with phones and for the end of the year.
Nope, I'll get you this copy here. And
Okay.
So we can get that.
And I'll email you the copies to sign
Sounds
for
good.
both proposals.
Good, thank you.
Goes there.
Appreciate you guys putting all the time into...
Anything else for me?
And getting it done.
I've been kinda scared, so we've been kinda crazy busy, so.
Nope,
Okay.
as long as we get square 9 completely done in the next couple weeks, we'll be good.
We're gonna push out to all the vouchers. I think Gary and I will probably call on that question of legislative audit that Lynn
Oh,
had
yep.
today.
I got 2 vouchers.
And once that's cleared, then we can roll, and I'll get Cory up here after lunch sometime to get with you and get it on yours.
So does every office have at least a computer with it on there now?
I don't know if they have it installed yet or not, but they're gonna go around and put all the voucher system in and install it
Maybe.
this week.
Okay, so
As
you
we-
can send out an email, because there's people that need it that don't have it, and see where we're at.
Because that's the big thing, is we're starting to catch our breath in the jail now with the elevator being a little delayed, so that'll help,
Sounds good.
so.
Oh, did you need, we were talking budget supplements today.
Max showed me where I'm at, and I think I'll be okay. You know, we added the square 9, a few things that I didn't budget for, but with this coming under, a couple other things, and then, without getting the IT room done, I'm not gonna do the battery backup, so I think we'll be okay. I probably have a little surplus, a little turn back money, but we shouldn't go over at this point. I don't see anything major coming up. Let's be good for the next month, and we should be okay.
Sounds good. Well, appreciate your time.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
All right, that brings us to the end of the regular agenda.
That's not the one.
We had to go to,
Okay, it did come in. Ted brought it in, the amendment to
Morning.
draw down 5, Safe Harbor CDGB pay request.
okay,
Ted, No Shave November's over.
how much was on that?
206,
I'll let you know.
305.
Thanks.
Okay,
Don't tell
the
my
amount
brother.
is the 206,305. Is there a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Motion by Sutton,
Second.
seconded by Fishback. Any questions on it? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right, and then did we gotta do your budget, the budget.
Yep. No, the budget supplement I've already got a motion on, you haven't, I don't think you
Approved.
voted on it yet, but I've got Fishback Sutton
Do you?
for the
Okay.
budget supplement.
All right, so we've heard from IT on that. Is there any other questions on the budget supplement to be published? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Anything else for us? Okay, Gary, did you have anything else? All right, anything from the folks in attendance today, or the commissioners?
I just want to mention that I visited with Max yesterday, you know, the James, whatever our district is, the Upper
James River Valley.
James River Valley District. There's 3 counties in it, Brown, Spink, and
and Beetle. And a few years ago, we had discussed possibly dissolving that district and us joining the one to the east and Beetle County joining the one to the south, and then Spink County would join the one to the west, and that was voted down. But this is the second year in a row that Beetle County hasn't followed through and scheduled the fourth quarter meeting like they're supposed to. So I think we're going to have a discussion at our next quarterly meeting and maybe seriously consider dissolving this district, because we're the smallest district with only 3, and it'd be nice to have meetings where we actually have some educational speakers or do something. So I know I visited with the Beetle County Auditor yesterday, and her and their treasurer haven't even been attending our meetings because they find them uninformative and kind of a waste of time. So they've been attending other district meetings because they're better use of their time. So anyway, just wanted to give you an update on that.
Thanks for the heads up on that.
And I'll be going down to the Southeast District as a guest tomorrow. Gary Yeager and I are going to go down to...
Where's that one at?
It's actually at a place outside of Sioux Falls. I can't think of the name of it. It's by Wild Water West or something. There's a meeting facility out there. And so we'll
Let
go
us
down.
know how it goes.
Yeah, well.
Sounds good. Anything else?
And I sent everybody the proposed revision of the fair ordinance, and would it be the wish of the commission to have that put on the agenda to consider formal advertising next week, or do you want another week to think about it?
We can put it on the agenda, because if there's an issue, we can always hold off next week, right?
Yep.
That's all right with everybody?
Yep. We'll see that.
All right, anything else?
I won't be here next week. Kathy will be here, and she'll be appraised of everything, so she does a good job.
All right, with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved by Fishback, seconded by Sutton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We'll be adjourned till next week.